I just had a hummingbird nearly take my head off. I guess he thought I was one giant flower with this neon shirt on. Scared me to death. Hey guys and gals, thanks again for tuning in here on Hook, Line, and Singer. I'm your host and resident singing fisherman, Bob Sellers. Today is going to be something a little bit different. I don't really have any fishing to show you, but I just want to show you a brief little clip of something my son and I encountered down near Aliceville, Alabama while fishing. It's really, really cool, at least to me. Around these parts, it used to be unheard of to see an alligator. When I was a kid, I heard tales of people seeing alligators, maybe in certain creeks. In fact, we have a branch just down the road here named Alligator Branch, and that's why supposedly the tale was years ago a fella saw or killed or something a big alligator there, but you know, kind of thought of as an anomaly, not something that was normal. Well, here a few years ago, my dad and son and I were fishing in a little farm pond just 2 to 3 miles below my house here, when the lady that owned the place comes out and says, "Hey, I forgot to tell y'all, they've seen an alligator in here." We hadn't been out there much longer after that than he floated up. And so he would just float up every now and then out there and say hello and then go under and bubble around a little bit. But that was kind of my first experience of seeing an alligator in the wild in these parts in person. Now, I've fished in Florida some, and I mean, it's not uncommon at all down there. You see them kind of everywhere you look when you get into Central and South Florida. And I've even been down there fishing during mating season, and boy, they make some interesting noises when you get over there close to the grass. You may not ever see the alligator, but you just hear these. This sounds like something off of Jurassic Park. And those big male gators aren't happy when you get into their territory. And but anyway, this is down below Aliceville, Alabama. Aliceville is about 30 minutes south of where my home sits, and it's where I was raised. I spent the first 11 years of my life in Aliceville, Alabama. My dad was an officer in the bank down there, and I had a great childhood in Aliceville, Alabama, and it's in Pickens County too, which I've spent my entire life in. But we didn't have gators when I was a kid, and I mentioned to you fishing in Florida and seeing plenty of gators down there. I've never seen an alligator in person any larger than the one Will and I see in this video in Aliceville, Alabama. Hey, you guys won't believe this. Check it out. That's a big old gator. We're still 75 yards away from him. I didn't get near this good a look at one on my kayak down here.
I was in my kayak.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't get that good a look at it.
You about ready to go swim? What if he started coming this way?
Hey, reel that in for me. I got a new name for this hole. The Gator hole. Is that a picturesque scene right there or what? Look at that big cypress tree. I can't believe he's that high up out of the water. His head's sinking. His head's sinking. He's getting ready to go under.
I don't want him to go under. And we don't know where he went.
Shh, very quiet. Ooh, he quit moving.
Still.
Look how wide his back is, Will. it is from his snout to his eyeball. I don't think I saw one fishing in Florida that big. Look, he's got mud and sticks on him, see it? On his neck. No telling how old that thing is. We're close to it. Can you believe this? Look how wide his snout is, Will. His snout is 10, 12 inches wide. We're good. He's fixing to get out of here, son, and it's gonna scare it. Look at his leg.
That's crazy.
How awesome was that?
What did he say?
How stinking awesome was that?
That's why we didn't catch no fish.
One of the most majestic things I've ever experienced live and in person out in nature. I don't know how good you can tell it in the video, but that gator, when he was just laying there in the water with his front and back, the legs just hanging out beside him, ready to make his move, he looked as wide as the boat, and I am not exaggerating that. His snout, his snout was, I would hate to estimate, but his head was probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet long. In total, I would guess that alligator was at least 14 feet long, and no telling what he weighed. He's been there probably decades and decades. I looked it up. I think for one to get that big, it would have to be at least 50 years old. And so he was probably somewhere between 50 and 100 years old. They are just majestic creatures, powerful and absolutely at the top of the food chain wherever they reside. I'm going to tell you one thing, there's no way with a gun to my head I would have jumped in the water that day. And in fact, when I'm fishing down there now, I think about it every time I pull in a fish or rinse my hands off. And in fact, I was down there in that same place not long ago and almost ran over a gator in my boat, and but he wasn't near as big as that one. I believe that's the granddaddy down there, and we were just fortunate to slip up on him, and well, he let us slip up on him. We got probably 10 to 12 feet from him with the bow of the boat there. But anyway, just an exciting thing. Hey, real quickly, let me leave you with a word from the Word. This is out of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. Oh, do I love this one. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful, be courteous. And that pitiful means tender-hearted. Boy, wouldn't the world be a better place if we got rid of all this haughtiness and people with egos and people with ulterior motives and I'll help you, but only if you'll help me, that sort of thing. And that drives me as crazy as anything in the world. Why can't we just be nice for the sake of being nice, not expecting anything in return? Man, celebrate those people. I'm going to tell you, I brag on her a lot, but I think of my wife when it comes to being meek and long-suffering. She's definitely long-suffering toward me. Kind-hearted, tender-hearted. She fits those descriptions more than any person I've ever met in my life. In fact, I've seen people do things to her that should have offended her. In fact, they offended me, but she just carries right along. She does what we would call takes the high road and lets the other chips fall where they may. And boy, I'm not ashamed to say that I strive every day to be more and more like my Jesus, and I strive every day to be more and more like my precious wife. May the good Lord bless you wherever you are today. I hope and pray that you know that heaven is your eternal home. If not, holler at me. Hey, I think I figured it out, folks. I bet the hummingbird thought I was an azalea. These are some azaleas out in our front, in front of the house, and they match my shirt pretty close, don't they? He thought I was a giant azalea. Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this video. As always, I appreciate you being here. I encourage you, if you like it, to go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And leave me your comments. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you have some gator stories of your own. And hey, let's stay in touch. But God bless you. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.